I want to explain to you how logic and reality steal your dreams. This comes from prophecynewswatch.com. I borrowed it. Did you get a stimulus check in the mail? Was it just direct deposited in your account? Are you waiting for another one? Why? Well, because times are tough. Or is it because our government has made them tough? Government largesse is not what you think. They're not feeling sorry for us when they send us money. They're covering their own backsides because they created the chaos, this financial bedlam. Over what? The flu. The flu, something that happens every year. Okay, this one's worse than the others. Why? Well, perhaps because we have resistance to the others, and this resistance creates stronger strains. Perhaps it's just simply nature at work, the way nature always works. It may be that somebody created this one, and there is evidence that that happened. The stimulus package is a product of socialism. Today, many Republicans who supported the measure acknowledged that what they were doing was pure socialism. But they defended the payments by insisting that they were in the middle of a major national emergency. What happens when you feed wild animals? If you live near wild animals, it's one of the cardinal rules. You don't feed them. If you feed them, they want more. And eventually, they cannot survive on their own. Human beings aren't a whole lot different. Did you see the vandals attacking the homes of government employees? Do you see them in the streets burning businesses and homes? Who were these people? Animals responding to negative stimuli. Sentient creatures have the ability to reason. They don't need firebombs. They have a message. There are hundreds of ways to communicate that message. Violence is not the best. It was the Democrats and our president who wanted the payments to be larger. Now, Democrats control the White House, the House of Representatives, and have an equal share in the Senate. What do you think's going to happen? By law, we shut down just about every small business in this country for the last 8 months or more. What do you think that has brought? By law, we mandated masks and distances between people. By law, we shut down public gatherings, churches, entertainment venues, and a host of smaller things, all of which meant the loss of jobs. Now, while $600 stimulus checks are being deposited in tens of millions of bank accounts, congressional Democrats are laying the groundwork for even greater stimulus payments, which some call survival checks. As Senate Democrat leader Chuck Schumer recently said, one of the first things I want to do, actually he said one of the first things that I want to do, just shows he has no knowledge of grammar. One of the first things I want to do when our new senators are seated is deliver the $2,000 checks to the American families. The in this sentence is also superfluous. These are leaders. The other superfluous word is that. While Democrats are taking power in Washington, a critical question will be whether such survival checks will be a one-time payment or will recur each month or once a quarter for the duration of the pandemic. Senator Ed Markey, a Democrat from Massachusetts, and others have suggested just that. That may pacify the socialist mobs for a while, but eventually they will be back for even more payments. And the voices get angrier and angrier. Do you really think anybody in Washington is going to be willing to stand up and say no? The incoming Vice President, Kamala Harris, previously proposed giving out monthly $2,000 checks for the duration of the pandemic. She did this in something called her Monthly Economic Crisis Support Act. She introduced it in the Senate in May of 2020. If you're married with 3 children, you would have gotten $10,000 every month under her plan. Do you know anybody who would send those checks back? Of course, the price tag for such a plan would be nightmarish. It would have been approximately $600 billion every month. That would mean it would add more than $7 trillion to our national debt in 1 year. Do we worry about the national debt anymore? When was the last time you heard that? And just how much debt can we carry without going under? Meaning devaluing the dollar below its current rate. Do you know what its current rate is? Do you know what your dollar is worth in real money today? 25 cents. That's an inflation rate of over 2,500%. But since we're liquidating the republic anyway, who cares? Harris insisted that her plan would end once the crisis was over. You ever hear that before? Other politicians, however, are ready to start giving citizens what they call universal basic income checks on a permanent basis starting right now. Andrew Yang is making this his signature promise in the campaign he's got running for mayor of New York City. And all of this, he says, will eradicate poverty. No, it won't eradicate poverty. Hundreds of thousands of wealthy people left the city in 2020. They took their money, they took their equity, they took their businesses. They're selling their homes. Benjamin Franklin once said, when the people find out they can vote themselves money, that will herald the end of the republic. Thousands of businesses have been dying every month. The U.S. has lost more than 110,000 restaurants alone. And to make sure that most of the businesses that have died can never possibly come back, Joe Biden wants to institute a national minimum wage of $15 an hour. Promising people more money is a great way to win elections, but at the end of the day, somebody's got to make the payroll. Most of those who make these decisions never had to make a payroll, never had to be certain to set aside money for the lean seasons, never had to be careful to protect their investments. As the U.S. economy continues to come apart at the seams, finding sources of tax revenue are going to become increasingly difficult. And when that happens, your taxes are going to go up. They're going to increase to levels never before seen except in third world countries and in socialist states. And who would benefit from all of this? The enemy of your soul. That's who.